pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hey, hang on just a second, Liam. I've lost your audio here. Hang on just a moment. Why do I not have your audio? All right, try one more time.
Hello,
There you
race
go.
fans, and welcome to Atlanta. This is Sim Racing Media live from the Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia. We are live here for the final race of season number 53 of the Western States Racing League. Qualifying just about halfway through here. Right now, Charlie Widener sits on the pole, the provisional pole, Paul Crumray, and then Matt Sisler. That would be your top three at the moment. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I'm Liam Irvig, joined up in the booth by Chris Murphy. Chris, how you doing tonight?
Excellent, Liam. How you doing, buddy? And as you can see, we I dressed up for the evening. Got my best Gas Monkey T-shirt on here. So, yeah, just fantastic. Welcome, happy to be here. We've covered a lot of races this season for the Western States Racing League season 53. Oh my gosh, these guys have been around forever, and we're almost into 2026. So, looking forward to the final race of the season. See how the points shake out. And we'll see what next season brings. But right now, we're going to finish this up here at Echo Park, Atlanta.
Yeah, and you mentioned seeing how the points are going to shake out, but we do know one spot that's already been taken care of, and that is, of course, our champion, Jacob Jensen. An absolutely phenomenal season. I believe he's got 7 wins on the year. before last week, he had a 26-point gap, and both him and Brian Barnes had to take a drop week, so no changes were made. I would imagine the race that had to be dropped for both drivers was that one. It's going to be a gap insurmountable here in
We've
the
got
final one. But let's
the points up
see
on the
if we can.
screen, if you can see them. I don't know if they're visible on your end or not, but points up on the screen, as Liam said, Jacob Jensen taking the points championship here, 688 points. Right behind us, Brian Barnes and Bob Beltrami, Wayne Hutchison, second, third, and fourth right there. And there, it still shake some stuff up here a little bit, but Brian's got about a 25-point gap back to Beltrami, so I think that maybe the top two spots may be locked in here.
Yeah, Wayne Hutchison not too far behind Bob Beltrami, though. Only 8 points separate those two. A little bit of a swing could happen depending on the drama of this race. A lot of things still up in the air, but not only points positions. There's a race win at one of the most unpredictable racetracks that these guys are going to be running at all season. I mean, obviously it's the end, but kind of save the best for last. Am I right?
Oh, for sure. You know, we talked a little bit pre-show here. You know, I do kind of like the old design a little bit better. I mean, this is basically just a little mini Daytona Talladega at this point, but pretty much turning this thing into a super speedway. But it should be exciting racing here tonight. And the nice thing about the super speedway, it's pretty much anybody's race at this point.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You stay out of trouble, you've got yourself a chance. As long as you can stay there at the end and find yourself a nice run, you're really going to have yourself a chance to get to the end. Let's go ahead and see, as we've got
A minute,
just
20
about
seconds.
a minute left in qualifying. Let's see if we can bring up our champion. Hey, Jacob, it's Liam and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, before we get going, we just wanted to talk to you, champ. See how you're doing. See what you're thinking about going into this race now that points don't matter anymore.
Well, I'm really thinking about just trying to get one of these two Cavu Performance race cars into victory lane. That's the biggest thing I'm thinking about. So,
Well, awesome stuff, Jacob. We won't take up too much of your time, but we did want to say congratulations on such an excellent season, and we can't wait to watch you kick some more ass in the future.
yeah, hopefully tonight goes well and one of us gets into victory lane and we can come talk to y'all.
Awesome stuff, man. We'll see you out there.
Yep.
All right, we got about 25 seconds left here in qualifying. Charlie Widener tops the charts right now at 32.03. Paul Cremeri with a good qualifying run, and Julian Ricci also per top three. And Shane Jensen might, for the first time this season, may have out-qualified Jacob. Shane up there in fourth right now. Matt Scissor running out the top five. So we're going to see, I think everybody's about done making their laps. So as soon as we get the results up here, we'll get them going. But it looks like that is going to wrap up qualifying with about 5 seconds left to go. I don't see anybody out on the racetrack. So we just get to look at this beautiful blimp view for about a minute or so.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that's an interesting thing to bring up. You know, it's unfortunate because we are on the East Coast here, or our stat guy is on the East Coast, and the Western States Racing League operates on the West Coast, so unable to check if that's actually true. I want to say he qualified better than him at Talladega about midway through the season, but
I was just taking a guess.
yeah, Shane has been phenomenal. Improved a ton this year. We've seen him work his way up through the pack, and now he's found himself in a couple situations up in the top five, a good chance to win.
Yeah, take a look at that 8-truck right there. Shane Jensen looking sharp up in the top four, but we know just like any other super speedway, it can go just about any direction. Just one little mistake by anybody could take out half the field real easily.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at race number 1 of NASCAR's bracket challenge. Everybody's bracket got broken after Atlanta because of one crash. One thing happened. We've got 24 drivers ready to get gridded up here. It's going to be a lot of tires on track, man. I tell you what, these guys are going to have to mind their P's and Q's for 104 laps.
All right, you set me up for a nice comment there, and then I had to sneeze. So sorry about that. But yeah, exactly. But we're looking for a good show here tonight. 104 laps, only 45% fuel load. So we're going to see I don't know if they're going to be able to make 15 laps on fuel. Are we going to see that many pit stops tonight? Did you do any testing earlier?
I did not do any testing. I know we are going to see an abundance of pit stops here tonight. I don't know if it's going to be quite around that 15 lap range. I think these guys will be closer to 20. I want to say when we were at Talladega earlier in the season, they made it to 13 to 16. So shaving off a mile, I want to say maybe 17 to 21, 22. But we are still looking at, I would say, 4 to 5 pit stops in this race, and quite possibly seeing those happen under green, which is going to be significant, Chris, because that entry into pit lane is all the way back into turn 3. And we saw it last Thursday in the RFRL League. If you got to make sure you get on that box.
All right, as we make our way,
you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, as we make our way out onto the racetrack, we're going to get our starting grid up here.
Charlie Widener starts on the pole with Paul Crumray to his outside. Then we've got Julian Ricci and Shane Jensen. A phenomenal qualifying run for both drivers. Row number 3 is going to have Matt Sisler and Wayne Hutchison. And we've got Scott Kukas and Jeff Wills both starting inside the top 10. Rounding out your top 10 is going to be Jacob Jensen and Bob Beltrami, the chief cook and bottle washer here at WSRL.
And back to row number 6, you're going to see the 16 truck of David Weaver, and I got to talk a little slower than normal, and Chris Walker outside of him. 7th row, Charles Woods on the inside, and the 46 truck of Earl Weaver outside in the 14 starting position. Back to row number 8 in the 15 spot, we see Alan Bergen and John Kenyon. John Kenyon's going to give us one of our in-car cams again this week. We're going to come off of turn number 4, Dustin Burns, Matt Heath, and we're going to get the live action.
Yeah, we had Chad Stearns, Keith Kelman, Todd Miles round out the field. Brian Sullivan, Tyrone Harris showed up, did not take the grid. You do matter. I'm sorry to James Stewart, who I offended last week. We are green flag for the final time in 2025.
And it is.
Widener gets out to a pretty good start, and Ricci side by side with Crumray. These guys separate out a decent amount for now. Don't expect that to stick around very long, Chris.
No, not at all. It goes to 2x2, a little bit shaking up there in the background, but Widener with a good jump there. Crumray right there on outside of him, but Ricci looking for a spot. Ricci taking a look to try to make it 3 wide there. Thinks the better, but settles back down on the bottom, and there's Matt Sisler right there behind him.
Sisler definitely wants to have a strong performance, try to take that checkered flag after such a strong run last week that got taken away late. Of course, that number 95 who leads the race, Charlie Widener, a little bit better tire strategy, was able to take it home at the end. Of course, take a look at our champion, Jacob Jensen here. 8th place, working his way through on the inside. Nice little speed shot we got down the back straightaway. One way down on the inside. Who could that be? Is that Charlie Widener? Charlie Widener might have gotten himself a penalty, and now he seems to be serving it. Yes, he does have a penalty. He's going to have to come in and serve a drive-through.
See if we can see what happened to Widener. He got the black flag before the start. Looking at my stat, I'm not sure what it was for, but unfortunate for the pole sitter having to serve an early penalty.
Scott Kukas in the same boat. He's coming down into the pits. I wonder... I'm not sure. We'd have to try to get a report on that from pit lane. But right now, Matt Sisler has the race lead. Crumray looks to the outside. He's got help from the 20. That's Wayne Hutchison this week. Jeff Wills just behind him. Here's Wayne Hutchison riding on board with him just behind Crumray. And you're going to see Widener come up. He's going to be low on the racetrack. He's going to be slower than these guys. What does he do to this pack as they catch up to him?
Yeah, Widener's got to try to tag on it, see if he can just get out of the way of the leaders here right now as he's a lap down, but at the same time maybe tag into the draft, and it looks like he's going to blend in here pretty well. Got up to speed enough that he is not going to get just blown past by these guys, but he's going to go up to the outside, get out of the way, and see if he can tag onto the back and hope for a caution. He can get the lucky dog here and get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, you want to get the caution, but you don't want to be the caution, which is why he decides to get to the back of this pack. He's not going to race these guys super hard. He knows they're racing for a position, and even then, it's a sketchy spot to be 3 wide here in Atlanta. You see Widener getting up into the wall. That white truck down on his inside, couldn't quite tell who that was at the moment. Got a little wide there with the truck on his inside. And
Beltrami with a good pace here so far. Up 4 spots, started back in 10th, up to 6th. We look at our points championship, Jacob Jensen now down a spot. And look who our big mover of the race is so far. It is the 00 of Alan Bergen, now started back in 15th and now up to 10th.
Alan Bergen, of course, you know, one of our dear friends here at Sim Racing Media, does a lot of work for us, and love to see him have a good run. We like to make fun of him for not making it to the end of these things, so just hope he can complete all the laps, but the better he finishes, I know he's going to be ecstatic. Got a long way to go before that happens. Only 6 laps complete, 98 laps to go, 97 when they cross the start-finish line, and Wayne Hutchison is getting a huge shove from Jeff Wills just behind him.
Yeah, Wills sneaks up in there, right there behind Hutchison. Hutchison in the 20 truck this week, trying to get that outside line to work, but just not able to get up enough momentum. But Sisler's going to jump up there to the top on the outside of Crum Ray right there. Maybe he can pull along that 20 and the 74 right there along with him.
Yeah, we talked about that 45% fuel limit, and I know it's a new track, but these guys only have 4 sets of tires. There's 1 that they start with and 3 in the pits, so they're definitely going to have to take no tires at some point in this race. These guys might opt more often than not to take no tires, especially if it's a green flag pit stop, to try to maintain that track position, maintain that spot in the lead. Even under caution, we can see that just so that they don't fall back, but when these tires start to wear out with a track this tight, that outside lane is going to become more dominant.
And we've already got some separation back to a second group, so unfortunately, there's back from about 14th back, has lost the lead draft. We look at Heath Smith kind of trying to pull this group along. He's got Daryl Scott, Todd Miles, and Scott Kukas right there with him. So they're about 4 seconds back of that lead pack, but still up front, it is Paul Crumay and Matt Sisler going at it. Hutchison up on, and around goes Crumay a little bit loose right there. Look like I didn't see any contact.
Widener checks up. Oh, and around goes Jacob Jensen down the back straightaway. Charlie Widener sideways as well. They did everything they could to wreck and made it until down the back straightaway. Looked like Crum Ray got a little bit sideways coming up off, and as he tried to merge up, Charlie Widener, I believe, slammed on the brakes and got hit from behind. Jacob Jensen also separately turned down and turned himself off of somebody's nose. We'll have to take another look at that.
That's going to give Widener his lap back there with that caution. We'll see if we can see what happened here. Take a look at Crummy.
He got up on the apron. That got him sideways. 4 wide moment there, and then Widener and Jensen get together.
Yeah, Crummy stays up.
Widener like.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead there.
I was gonna say that's why Widener locked up there. It's because he had already made contact with the 64, and that's why the 64 spun himself off the bumper. It was because he was out of control.
Let's see if we can take a look at that from Widener's view. He's up there on the outside, and everybody just kind of. Well, Trummy moves up a little bit. That checks up Walker. Bergen checks up a little bit. Widener. Yeah, so everybody just kind of an accordion effect right there. Crumay did
Widener got.
Yeah, I was gonna say Crumay did a really good job of staying there on the bottom of the racetrack, but everybody checking up in front of him just kind of piled everybody up on back. All right, so we've got a few drivers going to take advantage of the pits here right here. Looks like about our top 10 drivers all coming in to make an early pit stop here. We'll get back to live time. Yeah, so maybe it was a little bit fortunate and unfortunate for Charlie Widener there. He gets his lap back, but also involved in the incident, so he may not end up getting that lap back, or I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out for him.
I'm not sure he's going to be able to get the lap back being involved in the incident, but it may unfortunately mean nobody gets the free pass this time around. As Keith Kelman stays out, he's going to be the only driver to elect to stay out. Everybody else who started this race came into the pits. Jeff Wills going to win the race off pit road over Matt Sisler, Wayne Hutchison, Julian Ritchie, and Shane Jensen comes out in 6th.
Yeah, good pit stop there from Wills. Looks like it's fuel only for most of the top drivers. Beltrami was in a little bit longer. He might have taken right sides, but in there for about 15 seconds. Everybody else under about 7 to 8 second fuel stop. So looks like fuel only at this point for most of these drivers.
Alan Bergen may have taken tires, may have gotten some damage repaired there. It looked like he kind of got a piece of the wall there. David Weaver with a 19-second pit stop. And then, of course, Jensen, Walker, Stearns, and Widener taking a little bit more of an extended stop here due to the damage that they got. And Widener took a pretty decent shot to the front end. Dustin Burns got into him in the back coming up off of turn number 2. Got him sideways up into the wall. I'm surprised Dustin didn't have much more damage to take care of, but he spent 9 seconds in the pits.
Appreciate everybody out there. I was gonna say, appreciate everybody out there viewing tonight. I'm Chris Murphy with Liam Erbig, bringing you the Western States Racing League Season 53 finale here at Atlanta, or excuse me, Echo. They call it Atlanta. Or they call it Echo Park. I don't even know.
It's Atlanta to me, and Echo Park doesn't pay me. So Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's a great place to see a race. I've seen it in both configurations, and it is just absolutely spectacular. Amazing environment, a lot of fun racing, and definitely something you guys should check out if you haven't been before.
Yeah, I was at the old.
Like Chris said,
go ahead.
We've got a lot of you guys in the chat here. Go ahead and let us know who you're rooting for. Who's your favorite driver here tonight? We'll do our best to get them some TV time as well, and make sure that you get to see your favorites. All throughout the field.
104 laps or 13 laps in is our first caution flag. A little mistake there from Cremate just got loose. It really was an excellent save on his part, and it was just pretty much everybody checking up at that point because we were 2 and 3 wide at that junction of the race, and unfortunately just everybody piled up on top of each other. But it didn't look like anybody really got a lot of damage. Widener might have got the worst of it, but he's still back out there on the racetrack, but he still finds himself a lap down at this point.
Yeah, he's got to just kind of hang back here, hope for a quick yellow, hope nobody else goes a lap down. He is currently still the only driver that is 1 lap down, so that leaves him in pretty good position if we get a quick caution. But we will see. We've got a restart happening here. Going to be lap number 14. The flag is in hand, but Keith Kelman is in command. Green flag is in the air, and Kelman's going to get down and away. Look at that run up on the top from Jeff Wills, though. Kelman might have spun the tires down there.
Yeah, Will's going to be up on the outside. Will's had a couple good runs this year to see if he can get back to the front. He's trying to get out in front and lead this. We've seen him be pretty aggressive. If he can get to the front, he's going to do it. But here comes Kelman back down there on the bottom. Everybody's still basically on the same tires they started on, so no advantage there. And it is Sisler down down there on the bottom, trying to give Kelman a push to the front. 3 wide. Sisler sees that opening. He is going to get himself to the lead. Unfortunately for Kelman, he kind of moved up the racetrack a little bit, and he is stuck in that sucker hole right there in the middle, and he is going backwards.
Yeah, he was just in the absolute hornet's nest right there. Scott Kukas made a little bit of contact trying to avoid. Shane Jensen got a little bit in the door there as well. But everybody gets through okay to everybody's pleasantries except for Charlie Widener, who's potentially hoping to see that caution flag come out quickly.
Take a look back here at Kelman. Kelman's fell all the way back to 16th, about a half a lap or so, and he has fallen all the way back through the field. Back up to the front, though, it is Sisler and now Ricci right there, and here comes Willis. Will's up on the outside with a little bit of push from that number 20 of Wayne Hutchison. And look at the 40 of Charles Woods down there at the bottom with a good run so far here tonight.
So far looking so good for Woods down there on the bottom fighting for third. Will's trying to make something happen up on the outside. And we've got Wayne Hutchison followed by Shane Jensen pushing them right up next to the wall. They are fantastic stuff here at Atlanta as they come up off of turn number 4. Sisler leads, but here comes Woods for second, looking to the inside of Ricci. Not quite enough of a run this time.
Not able to get clear for that second spot. Here they come off of turn number 2. Sisler, Ricci, Woods, and Wills going to lead us down the back straightaway one more time. We are lap 17 of 104 here. Sisler looking really strong. Sisler had a shot to win a race here just a few weeks ago and ended up falling out. So let's see if he can stay up here. And that may not be factual, but I'm going to make it sound like it is.
Woods, meanwhile, is able to get himself to second place. Ricci tried to get up and cover Jeff Wills, take that run. Unable to do so, and the outside lane is going to fall back a bit. Now Crum Ray gets clear for third. Bob Beltrami looks to get clear for fourth, and Ricci maybe thought about trying to get down in front of Jeff Wills, but just did not have the space as Charles Woods. Oh, sideways as Scott Kukas headed down into the pit lane. He's going to come back up out of the track, but keep it out of traffic. Fantastic job by that 242.
Yeah, Kukas with another nice save. We've seen 2 good saves here tonight. One by Crum Ray and one by One by Kukas, but it's still Sisler Woods now looking to the outside. Can he get some little help up there? He's taking a peek to the outside. He didn't really be close behind, but Beltrami looks like he might go with him. No, Beltrami's going to stay down behind Sisler. But Woods with a good power move on the outside all by himself. Can he clear Sisler into three? I don't think he's going to be able to make it.
Not quite able to get clear, but that was a good execution of a side draft. He got a nice pull coming up through the corner, moved up, put the air onto the spoiler behind that wheel well, was able to pull that 93 back coming up off of the corner, giving the 40 the best run possible. Now he's got the 96 behind him, ready to push, and as these tires start to wear down more, these guys are going to find themselves running wider and wider.
And we are 2 by 2 throughout the pack. Bergen up there on the outside at 00, getting a good run up at about 8th or 9th spot right now, trying to get back into this fight after being involved in that last incident. Looked like Daryl Scott down there on the bottom. Started to move up the racetrack, did a good job of keeping it. We're 4 wide across the line, heading into turn number 1 here on lap 21.
That's Julian Ricci, who we saw in second place just a couple of laps ago, currently sitting in 9th, fighting for it with Daryl Scott on the inside. He's trying to pull up to Alan Bergen in front of him. The outside lane seems to have a little bit of space to work with as Charles Woods takes over the race lead. He's still trying to get clear of Sisler, though. Sisler with a good entry. He's got a little bit of help from Beltrami, but the push up top is stronger, Chris.
Yeah, Woods been up on that outside trying to get along Sisler here for about 2 or 3 laps right now. Just cannot make the pass complete, get back down to the bottom. He's got a little better help up there. Kermay now, after losing it early, has made his way back up here to the front, and it's a they got an incident right there. Looks like Bergen.
He's gonna keep it up against the wall.
Hard contact to the outside wire from the 00 right there.
That's suspension damage. You see debris falling off. He's gonna stay to the outside just to make sure that nobody else. He's trying to stay to the outside.
Yeah, so we are going to stay clean and green. We'll see if we can find that incident on here somewhere, but didn't mark it as an accident for us, so we'll see if we can go back here and take a peek what happened to Alan Bergen. You can see him up there on the...
So that was interesting there. We saw Bob Beltrami give such a shove to the 93. It got him super sideways into turn 1, but that's effectively what got him clear on the inside as I was talking up that run up on the outside. We're going to see Alan Bergen and... Daryl Scott. Allen gets a little bit loose. He gets down into Scott. And they tag the 24 of Heath Smith, and Bergen gets the worst of it.
Yeah, so it looked like Bergen just got a little bit loose off of 2 right there. Came down the racetrack, and unfortunately...
Oh, trouble. Charles Woods has crashed. Heavy damage to the front end of that machine. Was battling for the lead just before we went to the replay here, and now we'll get another replay.
See if we can see what happened here to Woods. He'll jump back there for me here.
Might be a day ender for that 40.
Little push there from Kermay in the corner coming off right there, and it just was just not able to chase the truck around. Comes down, catches Wills, drives Will. Oh, Will's gonna be involved in this too. So both hard contact with the inside. But it looked like a little bit of a push there from Kermay. We'll see if we can jump in the truck with Kermay and see from his view. That's kind of what it looked like there. Let's see if we can go back to it. And you can see Kermay tucked up on the back. Well, maybe there wasn't any contact, or maybe Woods just got a little bit loose on his own.
I mean, he was getting loose there throughout the corner. He was trying to save it. If you go back a little bit further, you can see he wiggles a couple times before. There's the first one. Sideways there. Tries to save it. Gets sideways again, and he's got it saved if it wasn't for the truck to his inside. And unfortunately, they connected and went heavy into the inside wall.
So our second caution of the event. And most of our leaders going to dive down into the pits again one more time. We see Sisler down there as well. And this may get Widener his lap back. It looks like
it sure does.
Yep, he's going to get his lap back here. So, but he's got a little bit of damage from that earlier incident. So you can see the right front doesn't look real healthy on that 95.
Well, we've already seen 2 cautions here in the first 25 laps of this 104 lap race. So it's reasonable to think we might have a few more. Not to mention, we saw Matt Sisler go from 1 lap down after an early incident with 4 minutes of optional repairs to finishing second with a chance to win last week at Charlotte. So it's important for Widener to stay in this, to try to keep calm and keep moving forward in this race. You know, it's a long way to go, and no matter what that damage is, you've still got a shot, especially at a super speedway track like Atlanta.
Caution number 2. First truck right there behind the pace truck is that of Keith Kelman. Kelman stayed out earlier and led a lap, but he now finds himself a lap down, and unfortunately was not the benefit of the lucky dog right there. So it's going to be Ricci right there behind him as our leader. As we come around to the stripe here, to see pace lights are still on the pace truck as we head off of 4, so we're going to go around at least one more time.
I believe we should be getting the 1 to green this time. The 07 will be able to get waved around here since he is in front of the race leader on track between him and the pace car. So he will be able to get that wave around, but he loses the benefit of being able to pit this time. Charlie Widener, we saw him get the free pass. He was able to come in, make a pit stop, get that thing looked at. He spent about 28 seconds in there, so you know he was getting some damage fixed. Keith Kelman's going to get waved around there as the rest of the field doubles up. Chad Stearns up to the outside here of row number 1. Chad's won 4 races this season.
So that should put Kelman back on the lead lap. Sorry, go right ahead.
Didn't really end up being a major part of this championship battle, but Chad Stearns still strong every time he shows up, everywhere you go. Don't forget about the Jensens just behind these two.
Yeah, once again, I'm Chris Murphy, Liam Erbig, bringing you the season 53 finale of the Western States Racing League. Give you a quick rundown here. Top 5, we got Julian Ricci out there at the point. Stearns has now made his way up 17 spots up to second. Jacob Jensen and Shane Jensen, as Liam mentioned, Matt Sisler, Bob Beltrami, Paul Crumey, Heath Smith, Wayne Hutchinson, and David Weaver going to round out the top 10 as we're going to come around here through 3 and 4 one more time. We're going to start lap 28 when they come across the stripe. We're going to go green one more time.
Well, and as our good buddy Alan Bergen likes to say, he won the race to the beer stand. Alan Bergen, unable to finish this race. He's out, so he's going to be our first DNF. Charles Woods, it's going to be tough to get that truck back out there. Same with Jeff Wills. Wills actually back out onto the racetrack. Nope, Wills has disconnected. So Wills also out of the race. Julian Ricci leads him into the box, green flag, and he's going to spin his tires, giving Chad Stearns the chance to get clear, getting into turn 1.
And not a good start there from Ricci. And that kind of backs up that inside line a little bit. Stearns with a good jump. Jensen trying to get by Ricci for that second spot. They're side by side off at turn number 2. It's Stearns, Ricci, Jensen.
Stearns with a huge lead. That's normally not a good situation at these types of tracks. The rest of the field is going to be able to gang up on you with this draft. They're going to have a nice tow coming up off of turn number 4 as these are side by side for second place. Ricci versus Jensen. Jensen, the champion on the season, and it's been decided he doesn't want to just go out finishing wherever. He wants to win. He's got a good run getting up into second. Ricci slides up just a little bit, almost contact made. Shane Jensen up on the outside, pushing his son to the race lead, and Ricci has a moment coming up off of turn 2, unable to provide the shove to Chad Stearns, gives us a change in the lead. The Jensens up top with a push now from Bob Beltrami, trying to disrupt Chad Stearns' day.
And you can see Jacob didn't want to leave the 8 car hanging on the outside, so he waited till they both cleared, dropped down in front of Stearns. Jacob Jensen and Shane Jensen out in front, 1-2. We talked to Jacob before the race, and he talked how he wanted to get one of these team trucks to the point. They could get them both on the podium tonight, and right now they are there, but they've got Chad Stearns, and Chad Stearns, this has been a battle with Chad and Jacob all year long, so do not expect the fireworks to end anytime soon here tonight.
Look at these guys as they slide, getting into the corner. These tires are really starting to wear. A lot of guys took tires that time around, but some of these guys don't have them, and when you get up in dirty air with older tires like Julian Ricci there, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble sliding up the racetrack and maybe even getting a little loose coming up off the corners like we saw from Alan Bergen and also the 40 truck, Charles Woods. Here comes Shane Jensen on the bottom of the racetrack. Bob Beltrami trying to push Jacob up on the top. Shane Jensen
Oh,
with
a
a
little bit
big push
loose.
from Chad Stearns. Jensen got loose. Oh, trouble. Matt Sisler sideways. He's going to get Julian Ritchie back up across the racetrack. Big crash getting into Tri-Oval. Keith Kelman is involved just after getting back on the lead lap.
Similar
Looks like
incident.
Earl Weaver's a piece of it as well.
Similar incident to what we saw earlier. Jensen got a little bit looser with a push from Beltrami. They backed out of the throttle and it just kind of piled everybody up behind him. We'll see if we can see what happened here. See if we can get the slow motion version of this here for a change. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. We're gonna go slow mo on the replay. See if we can go to this drone cam. Give us a good shot here. Kind of a wide angle shot of what went on right here with.
Yeah, so coming up off of turn 4, you're going to see Jensen get a little bit loose.
All kind of by himself there. Got a little bit looser and gets it straightened out. But Beltrami's backing out of the throttle at this point, and Sisler gets loose as well.
And so a reactionary move here out of the 93. He might have gotten across the bumper of the 96. Maybe pointed him a little bit more down towards Ricci. And he's gassed it up, trying to get out of the way. Gets up into Ricci. And unfortunately, Ricci is going to slide back up the racetrack. Fantastic avoidance there. Going to be out of Charlie Widener. Who is at the 19.
Of Todd Miles.
16, nowhere to go up
Weaver.
top.
Yeah, Weaver nowhere to go. Right into the front of Ricci right there. And you can see I don't know, Kelman just didn't. Kelman just was not able to get to the bottom fast enough. He piles into it as well. So unfortunate events there for all 4 of these drivers. Sisler had a good run going. But just once again, we see that, it didn't really look like anything, really blatant or, intentional by any means. It's just somebody making a little bit of mistake, truck getting a little bit loose, or everybody starts checking up, and then there's just really nowhere you can go at that point.
Yeah, let me tell you, these things are a lot more aero sensitive than I think anybody expected them to be here tonight. We're seeing guys get loose when the air's packed up on them. We're seeing guys get really tight behind another truck, especially when the tires start to wear down. You might have to change up your strategy. You might have to change up how you drive. Nobody's going to want to give more space, but that might be the safer option to just get through.
And look who is at the point here tonight. It is Shane Jensen, Jacob Jensen right there. So the Cavu Performance teammates right here, 1 and 2, right there behind him. The 05 of Chad Stearns, Paul Cremier, Wayne Hutchison are rounding out our top 5. Chris Walker with a good run, up 6 spots, started back in 12th, now up to 6th. And look at that 62 of Daryl Scott. He has moved up from that 20th starting position all the way up to 7th. Good, strong going right now for Daryl Scott. So as we said in the pre-show, it's pretty much anybody's race here on these super speedways. But unfortunately, just a little mistake from somebody, and you can see what happens. We've had a couple pretty big incidents just basically from somebody in the front kind of wiggling a little bit and everybody checking up behind him. We are on caution number. Is caution number 3? Yep, caution number 3. I have to get the stats up here to tell me what it is. So yeah, 3rd caution.
Yeah, this game is as unpredictable as any when it comes to racing at super speedways or at these plate style of racetracks. I mean, you never know where the crash is going to happen. Everybody's always so close as to where contact is pretty near inevitable. And these guys just got to try to keep their fenders clean until the last 5-10 laps and hope they're in a position to make something of it. We've got the 1 to green here. Doubling up front will be the Jensens. Shane, the elder. Jacob, the younger. We've got Chad Stearns, a 4-time winner this season.
So Ricci and Widener coming out of the pits right there in front of our lead group, so they're going to be able to go around to the back, get to the back of the field. But I think Widener and Ricci are going to be down a lap, if my timing and scoring is correct. But they're going to make their way to the back of the field here. As we head down the back straightaway here one more time here before we come back to green. Nice and slow down the back straight. What is it, about 80 mile an hour? I think they're running. Jump in the cockpit. Oh, why would I think they're...
Charlie's at 160, but no, these guys are running about 55 for pace speed.
That's awful slow in these trucks on a big track like this. Pretty hard to keep your foot out of the throttle at this point. But we're gonna head through 3 and 4 one more time. Come around to start lap number 35 of 104.
It might just be the illusion of the restrictor plates. I feel like 55 is pretty standard at a Charlotte or a Vegas. It does feel agonizingly slow when you're used to running in a pack at 180 miles an hour. Pace truck makes that hard left turn. Shane Jensen on the inside, Jacob on the outside. Better restart out of the 8 truck on the inside, and Chad Stearns is also going to be able to get to the inside and past Jacob Jensen. Saw one truck slow on the inside. I believe that was 40 or 46er of Earl Weaver dropping to the inside, dropping to the back. Single file up front for the most part. Maybe things are potentially going to calm down a little bit.
I don't know if I agree with you about that at all. I think because here comes Kermay up on the outside. Jensen slides up on the outside. There goes Stearns down to the bottom. So Stearns going to get a good run. Kermay going to try to make it 3 wide into turn number 1. So I don't think it's going to calm down at all here.
Jensen
Liam
checked up there. He saw the move Kermay was making. Said, hey, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah,
he's going to fall all the way to the back. He's going to open up. He slides up in front of him here. All the way to the back goes Shane Jensen. He's going to fall out of the top 10. William Ritchie back out onto the racetrack. He's currently running 17th. He's got a little bit of right front damage to him that's going to keep him out of the pack. But he is hoping for a quick caution to be able to get some more of that damage repaired. Jacob Jensen sits there in the 5th place. Darrell Scott made an aggressive move to get down behind him. That puts a spot for 7th. Wayne Hutchison there on the outside all by himself, hoping Beltrami can close in, but Paul Kermay doing a pretty good job of leading this race.
Yeah, Kermay's made his way back to the front after kind of falling back a little bit, falling back and forth throughout the field. It is Stearns Walker now up to 3rd. Hutchison trying to pull that outside along with Beltrami. But, we got Stearns and Kermay both at the front, both aggressive drivers. Neither one of them wants to run 2nd as they head down to turn number 1.
Well, Kermay has not gotten a win this season. Chad Stearns has gotten it done 4 times. Chris Walker sits here in 3rd. We haven't seen him a whole heck of a lot today. He's working his way up. Right now battling with Wayne Hutchison.
Walker down there on the bottom.
A bit of disruption there in the outside lane as Darrell Scott moved up. Jacob Jensen going to fall back a little bit, and now Chad Stearns side by side for the race lead with a push from Wayne Hutchison.
We got 15 trucks here in this lead pack right now. And it's Kermay and Stearns. Stearns back to the outside. He's got a good shove from Hutchison down the back straightaway. Can he get back to the front? I think you're going to see him drop down in front of that 96 as they head through 3 and 4. He's trying to clear him. Not able to. Has to hang up on the outside of the racetrack. Kermay back down on the bottom off of 4. We head down to the stripe to start lap number 41. We're side by side. Look at that Walker up on the outside into the fence. He's going to come back down in front of that. Looked like Widener. Widener's got to be like...
Kukas got up into the wall. And...
Oh, it's Kukas, yeah. I thought that was Walker.
Yeah, gotta say, though, that 95 doesn't look too bad on the right front. Still a little bit of crinkle, but he seems to be able to hold on to this pack.
Yeah, I was thinking, what Widener's back there thinking, what do I have to do to it's like a ping. He's trying to avoid everybody out there tonight. Everything's happening right in front of him in that 95. Kukas hits the fence, but able to gather it back up. Widener backed off just enough not to get any more damage. And here comes Chad Stearns back up on the outside of the 96. Trying to get to the front one more time. We're still side by side. We've been side by side for most of this race. I think you said it might calm down, Liam, a little bit ago. It doesn't look like...
I was absolutely wrong. I tell you what, you look at this 05, he is charging up on the outside. A little bit of contact as they race side by side for the lead. Kermay slides up the racetrack, trying to get a run. Oh, a little bit more door banging down the front straightaway. That's going to allow Hutchison to run. He's going to get to that back bumper of the 05, getting into turns 1 and 2. And these guys, once again, are racing like they are 10 laps to go. They've got a long way to go. Still 62 laps. 61 when they cross the start-finish line. Side by side for the race lead, getting into turn number 3, and Chad Stearns has the advantage on entry, but Kermay with that shorter line around.
So
anybody's game with this side draft. Sorry, man.
Yeah, no, Stearns going to lead across the stripe one more time. Take a look at our lap leaders here real quick, if I can find the right button to push. Sisters are led 14 laps of this race. Stearns, Kermay, Jensen, Kelman, Jacob Jensen, Charlie Widener, and Julian Ritchie have all done laps in this race. So you can see you're just shuffling back and forth, and here comes Stearns one more time up on the outside.
Things get super tight here with you when you've got somebody right tucked up on your outside. Takes the air off of that spoiler, and you can see it's harder for the 96 to turn on the inside. He's starting to get a little loose there through the quad oval.
Yeah, keep an eye on that 14 truck of Beltrami. He's got a little bit loose off the corners a couple of times here with Daryl Scott tucked up underneath them. We'll see if it looks like he's got it straightened out this time. With the last couple of corners, he had a pretty good wiggle, was able to hold on to it, but he's got the 62 tucked right up underneath the tailgate of that number 14 Beltrami Salami.
Chris Walker looking to the inside of Crumray, decides against it down the front straightaway, but Chad Stearns able to muscle out in front by just a nose, getting into turn number 1. We'll see if that 20 machine is able to get back to his back bumper and give him a shove coming up off of turn number 2. As the top two get incredibly close coming up off of turn number 2. Not quite contact there, but a big run here coming up off the corner. Chad Stearns almost gets clear. He's about 3/4 of the way done, but Crumray able to use that side draft coming on into the corner, pull him back and get that run on the shorter distance. Chad Stearns leads across the line that time. He's still got a long way to go.
Long way to go. Lap 47, a 104. Crumay, Stearns, and it just takes, you know, these guys are making it look pretty easy out there, other than a couple incidences we had, but they're making it look pretty easy. But it's pretty stressful out there. You've got to, if you lose just focus just for one split second, you're going to cause the big one that we have not really seen quite yet.
No, we've had a couple of opportunities, and these guys are racing in a fashion that definitely leaves it wide open for interpretation. But another thing that I'm starting to think, these guys are on lap number 48. We've obviously had a couple of cautions since the last pit stop, but the leaders, they last came in on 25. What are these guys thinking about a green flag pit stop? They've got to be talking within their team chats and all that about what to do because of the uniqueness of this pit lane.
Yeah, we've got a couple
of them into turn number 3, and you've got to make sure you're below the commitment line, the commitment box, into turn 3.
They've got a couple different strategies going on. Beltrami pitted back on lap 33 along with Scott Kuka, so they're on a little bit different strategy here. But our top 5 trucks are all pitted back on lap 25, like you said, so we're going to see some stops here pretty soon. And that's kind of the trick here, too, when you're all bundled up 2x2, 3 wide here like this. You've got to have good communication that you're coming into pit and get down out of the way fast enough to not cause any more of an issue.
Julian Ricci, the damaged truck just in front of these guys, going to go a lap down. There's not a lot of space at this racetrack. Ricci's going to give as much as he possibly can. This is definitely going to be a tight moment for everybody in this pack as Ricci well off the pace with that damage. Leaders get by okay. Everybody gets by okay.
Ricci does a good job of staying up on the outside. Everybody gets by clean here. Lap number 50, Stearns to the front. Crumay right there behind him. Hutchison putting up a good fight up on the outside of Chris Walker. And it's Beltrami and Daryl Scott side by side right there behind him. So, and Kukas has found his way up here into the top 8 right now as well. After an earlier incident, he was involved in one of the earlier cautions. But he has now made his way up. Battle for the lead. Kukas looking for a good run here at Atlanta.
Yeah, Kuka's doing everything he can, running up on the outside, trying to pull up to Daryl Scott. That inside run with inside lane has a massive run. Now Widener slides up the racetrack just a little bit. John Kenyon behind him. Coming up off of turn number 4, though, it's all Chad Stearns, Paul Crumray, Chris Walker, Wayne Hutchison, and now Bob Beltrami. Chad Stearns making the call. He's got to come into pit. 96 is going to come with him. This is our first look at green flag pit stops at the modified Atlanta Motor Speedway.
See if Stearns and Crumray can get down to the pits clean. It looks like Walker's going to go with him as well. Walker down to the bottom of the racetrack. That's going to leave Beltrami. We talked about Beltrami pitted a little bit later. And look who's right behind Beltrami. Matt Sisler, involved in that last caution. Able to got lucky and didn't take a lot of damage, but he is now up to second. It's the 14 and the 93 leading the pack. And right there behind him is the 95 of Charlie Widener. So we got 3 of these top 4 trucks involved in cautions flags here tonight, but they look like they're going to, not enough damage. It's really going to harm them too much. And it looks like, is Beltrami going to come down a pit? He took a look down at the bottom of the racetrack there. Looks like he's going to stay out one more lap.
Yeah, everybody on the racetrack now, with the exception of Jacob and Shane Jensen, all came in on lap 33. Seems like Shane and Jacob, though, they're coming in this time. So the top 6 now, they came in about 8 laps later. Gonna have a little bit more time to sit here and see if a caution comes out or just separate themselves from the rest of the field. They're all single file. They're not quite close enough to each other, but they are single file.
And Charlie Widener running third actually leads our wrench wranglers here tonight, has had the most damage. He's spent 2 minutes in the pits, but he was able to time it out well enough that he has stayed out there on the lead lap and caught a lucky dog there as well. So Widener with good pace right here. He pitted back. When did he pit? He pitted back on lap 33 as well. So our top 6 trucks right now all pitted back on lap 33. So they're going to stay out here for just a couple more, it looks like. I expect them in within at least the next 5 laps.
Yeah, Keith Kellman, the only driver on the same strategy that is not in this pack. See Jacob Jensen coming up behind him. He is just came off of the pit road and is 1 lap down to the field.
And it looks like there was fuel only for Jensen and Cremay, both the Jensens actually, and Wayne Hutchison well with short stops, but it looks like Chad Stearns might have taken some tires. He was in the pits for 15 seconds, so we're going to see how that works out for him as he finds himself quite a ways back of this pack right here in the front. And then we get looking at Scott Kukas back here in the 5th spot, so top 5 broken away here right now as we're cycling through the pit stops.
And a good job by Scott. We've seen him sideways. We've seen him into the fence. We've seen him every which way from Sunday, but he's up here running up in the top 5. He's on an alternate strategy in a good position to maintain time as these guys start to work through lapped traffic. Some guys who maybe had bad pit stops, you can start to get the toe on them as we look at Bob Beltrami, who leads the race over Matt Sisler, Charlie Widener, Heath Smith, and Scott Kukas, your top 5. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Alan Bergen, Charles Woods is technically still in the race, but has not left the pits since he crashed. Jeff Wills, David Weaver is in the pits.
So it looks like right now
Barry Phil is also out of the race.
I feel bad. Barry Phil, I didn't even see his name on the leaderboard. I felt bad for missing him earlier.
Oh, no, you might be right. He might be somebody's spotter. I saw the disconnect. I thought he might have...
Oh, gotcha.
Anyways, this is the interesting part about Atlanta is because there's no speed limit here technically, but you can't go over that white line.
All right, so
otherwise, that's an unsafe pit entry. So you've got to stay as fast as you can, but not too fast as to where you're going to go over that. Jacob Jensen. Beltrami got caught by the speeding police. He's going to have to serve a penalty. Poor luck on that alternate strategy there for Bob. He's going to...
Unfortunate for Beltrami. Jensen here. We're watching Jensen now. He's going to come off a 3 and 4. We're going to keep an eye on our leaders. They're still on the pit lane right now. Widener just now pulling out. Jensen coming up off a 4 with a head of steam. Let's see where they cycle in here. See where they blend in as they come out of the pits here. Sisler is still with the lead. Coming up onto the racetrack right now. He's got to blend up onto the speedway coming off of turn number 2. And here comes Jensen with a head of steam. He's going to go around Kukas.
Talk about a head of steam. Look at the trucks behind him. There's 4 of them lined up, closing in, led by Paul Crumray. Shane Jensen's up in there. Chad Stearns is doing a big push there down the back straightaway. Now they're going to try to work around that 24.
24, Heath Smith had worked his way up into the front of this pack, but he's going to get cycled back here as a... Jensen now is not quite caught Sisler. Sisler's still out there kind of by himself, but it looks like, if we go back here and look at Jensen, he's also by himself, but he's got Widener. He's got that group of trucks, group of 6 trucks right there coming up to him. We're going to see these guys reeling Sisler in a hurry.
Who stays with them? Who goes against them? Crumray already looking to the outside with Stearns. Heath Smith going to try to, well, he's got a decision to make. He's going to try the inside. Huge run for Paul Crumray, though, getting into turn number 1. He's going to have the advantage over Jacob Jensen. He's got momentum up on the top. He might be able to get clear coming up off of turn number 2, depending on the push Widener can give. Little bit loose was Crumray coming up off of 2. He's got a huge push from Chad Stearns down the back. They're both going to get clear getting down into turn number 3. That's tandem drafting right there.
Yeah, and Sisler about over 2.5 seconds out to the front of this group. You can see him out there just off the left of the screen. But these trucks, if they can just single file out, they'll run him down quickly. His last lap was about 32.3 for Sisler, and Crew May ran a 31.8, so about a half a second right there. So if they keep up that pace, they're going to catch Sisler in about the next 3/4 of a lap. Maybe I'm being a little ambitious.
Yeah, Sisler, he's going to be a sitting duck here. He is all by himself. He's got nobody in front of him to try to get a tow on. Only going about 167 compared to the drivers behind him that are up in the 170s range. Paul Crumray got a little squirrely coming up out of the corner, but he's still got 3 to 4 miles an hour consistently on your race leader.
Yeah, you can see Sisler out there in front. That line of 7 trucks coming after him down the back straightaway here one more time. Sisler sees him coming. And what's his plan right here? Is he going to try to block Crewmaid, stay in front of this pack as they come up, or is he just going to try to blend in somewhere? We're going to see how this works out right now. It's too early in this race to try to do anything too aggressive. We're on lap 63 of 104, but Sisler, like you said,
he just holds the bottom here and hopes somebody gets with him.
Let's see what he does through 1 and 2. Down to the bottom, like you said. Let's see where Crumray does. Comes off a turn number 2.
He can't afford to block for the lead here. It's a really risky move unless it's timed just right. Crumray looks up to the outside. Sisler maybe thought about it for a moment. He's got no help right now as Crumray moves to the outside, gonna make that pass. Chad Stearns gonna follow him through. No help for that 93 as Julian Ritchie is the driver just in front of these guys. Once again, gonna go another lap down. Just want to say thank you to everybody who's tuning in live here on Sim Racing Media for the season finale of the Western States Racing League Season 53. Jacob Jensen has already been crowned champion, but we've still got 40 or 39 laps to go this time around to decide a race winner.
Gonna head down
and drop who your favorite driver is in the comments, and go ahead and make sure we show them. Well, we'd love to talk to you about who you're rooting for.
Yeah, and I'm looking up at the timing and scoring. We got 8 trucks here in this lead draft. Back to Wayne Hutchison in that 8th spot. And unfortunately, I was looking at Scott Kukas. Scott Kukas not with a great pit stop. He is 8 seconds back of this group after putting himself into a position to be up here with him. But and actually, Bob Beltrami in that group, all back there, kind of lost a little bit of pace. Beltrami still a lap down. Oh, he had that black flag. That's right. So, but it was Kukas and Scott and Chris Walker in that group, and they have lost this lead draft. They're about 5 seconds back of the 7th place running Wayne Hutchison.
Yeah, definitely. We hope Bob can recover from that speeding penalty. A little too fast on that entry. And to believe that's a 26-second stop, or maybe 40 if it's considered excessive. But I'm not sure they let you do the pass-through. Even if you did have to do the pass-through, you're going to have to go through turn 3, so it's a hefty penalty. Bob's currently sitting as the first car 1 lap down. So if he gets the caution, he's going to get the free pass. As Charlie Widener moves up to the outside, he's trying to take 3rd away from Sisler. He's got help from Heath Smith, about a car length behind. Jacob Jensen on the inside, a couple of car lengths behind him is his dad Shane. And Wayne Hutchison not too far off of those guys, but got ourselves a battle heating up here. It's a chess match with at least one more pit stop coming our way.
Yeah, I was looking at that. It looked like Shane and Wayne were just basically almost in danger of losing the draft, but they're going to be able to sneak up here up on the back. And what's going on? We're going to take a look at our in-car cam. John Kenyon not quite having the night that he'd like to have, but he did give us his in-car camera that, let's see if we can find it here. So John Kenyon was nice enough to supply his in-car. You can see him right there. Nice little setup for... I need that button box he's got there on the left there, Liam. Think we can get one of those for Christmas?
Maybe. He got big sideways there, so he might need some new underwear for Christmas.
We got Earl Weaver kind of blinking around right there behind him. So thanks again to John for letting us into his home right there. Not having the run he wants to have. He's back there in his 16th. Finds himself at least 1 or 2 laps down here, but we'll get back up here to the front.
Crumray continues to lead over Chad Stearns, Matt Sisler, Charlie Widener, and Heath Smith rounding out the top 5. Good job by Matt Sisler to be able to get up into third place, stay there after getting swallowed up by the pack. Definitely easy to fall all the way to the back, but he had a pretty good job there of staying on the bottom, getting some draft once the top two cleared him. Chad Stearns and Paul Crumray, though, seem to be a force to be reckoned with. They have worked together so well for so long all day today. It's going to be tough to get around those guys here as we work towards the end of this race. Just 33 laps to go as we cross the line.
Paul Crumay still out at the point right now. Chad Stearns, Matt Sisler, Jacob Jensen, and Charlie Widener side by side. And he's got Shane Jensen, Heath Smith still hanging on to this group right now as well. And Wayne Hutchinson back there, the last car in this lead pack. 8 trucks right now. 72 we're on lap 72, 71 down of the 104. 3 caution flags so far in this race, hoping for not another one at this point, but right now it's top 8 looking really strong.
Major separation, 10 seconds back to Scott Kukas, Darrell Scott, like you said there. And, well, things are going to start heating up. We're going to have another pit stop. If it's going to happen under green flag conditions, that's going to send this pack into yet another blender. We're going to see some guys better on pit lane, like we saw Sisler and Jensen both able to get in front of their respective packs. And we're going to see some guys that work their way from the middle of the pack, like Paul Crumray did, get up to the front and just stay there.
Yeah, I'm looking
just because we've only got 8 guys up here, that doesn't mean the comers and goers story is over.
Yeah, it looks like we're looking at about a 20 to 25 laps on the pit stop. You know, we're a little bit different cycle with our leaders right here. Sisler, Widener, and Heath Smith all pitted on lap 58, while the rest of this field all pitted about 52 to 53. So let's see if, when everybody else comes down into the pit, let's see if, I think we've seen Sisler, Widener, and Heath work before on a different strategy, if I remember correctly, at our last Super Speedway race. Didn't work out for them at the end. But I think they're on a 5 or 6 lap difference. Could make a big difference here before this race is over with.
And pit stops from the leaders. Here come Crumray and Stearns. Stearns going to stay to the outside. He's going to miss the pit entry. Has to stay up on the racetrack, causing everybody else to move up to avoid him. And now that also leaves the 96 all by himself under this pit cycle. Chad Stearns going to be able to try to... He's going to be able to try to stay with this draft and recover that.
I think we can see what happened there.
Crumray, he came in, he came up off a 2. He just kept progressing down that yellow, or down below that red line, and I think Chad was trying to work with him, and
he's not able to get wood up in time. As here comes Stearns, going to come in as next lap around. But like you said, unfortunately, it was Crumray and Stearns both by themselves, off-cycled everybody. And here's our three leaders right now. The trucks we talked about earlier, they're on their own pit cycle as well. They're about 5 lap difference from the trucks behind him with Jensen, Hutchison. So let's see what happens. Right, it looks like Jensen's going to stay out one more time. As our lead pack's now got down to 6.
If you're these top 3, you've got to get together and you've got to make sure that you can stay together while Jacob Jensen and Shane make their pit stops. They both came in on the same lap, 5 laps before the top 3 did. They're going to have to come in earlier, of course. So you want to make sure, and this is actually going to be the lap around where the 64 and the 8 come in. You want to make sure that when you don't have those guys behind you, you can utilize every moment of clean air. Try to maximize the time on track.
So Jensen's coming down to the pits together. So we're looking at groups of 2 and 3 now. Separate Shane Jensen a little bit loose right there. We've seen Shane struggle to get into the pits a few times this season, and once again he's trying not to run in the back of Jacob. A little bit of almost contact right there. Teammates just about took each other out. We're gonna see if did Shane get woed up, and they're both gonna get a black flag for that. Jacob and Shane both gonna get caught speeding entering the pits right there. That is going to shake up our lead pack.
Chad Stearns has elected to pack it up under his pit stop. He's only out here trophy hunting, and I think they deemed that trophy unavailable, so they're going to pack it up on the hauler and get up into the stand to watch the end of this show like the rest of us.
We're back up here at the front. It's Widener, Smith, and Sisler, and this is basically our top 3 trucks right now. look back to Kukas and Kelman, but everybody else has had some kind of an issue. Cremay, Stearns were up here with this pack. Both had trouble getting into the pits. Both left alone out there. Like you said, Stearns packing it up. Both the Jensens now with black flags. So that 8-car pack that we had there for a little bit is now down to 3. Even Wayne Hutchison. So Hutchison and Cremay got teamed up here. So let's see what they can do. If they can stay in line and not race with each other here, keep up as much speed as they can, maybe they can get themselves in a position to blend in with those top 3 when they finally pit.
But the question is going to be, with a pit stop on lap 77, 75 for most of these guys, are they going to be able to make it to the end? That's going to be a 28, 27 lap fuel run to make it to the end. If we go caution free, that's going to be a struggle. That's going to be a big ask. These guys up front who haven't yet pitted, we continue on. We've got 23 laps to go. They're able to just keep tacking on laps like this. They don't have to worry about saving fuel at the end. These guys might have been able to short themselves another pit stop, as these top 3 are going to come in this time around.
Let's see how that cycles in for Hutchison and Cremay. They've now got into line, the two of them, and let's see if they can make up enough ground. I think they're going to be a little behind. They're going to be a few seconds behind that top 3 when they come out of the pits. Let's see how that works out. So Widener, Smith, and Sisler now just now entering the pits. I'm watching Hutchison and Cremay right now go through 3 and 4 here, it looks like. But they are a lap down, so they're going to come around, get their lap back right now. Let's see how much pace they can make up. But here, this is our fight for the lead right now. Can they make up enough time to stay with Widener, Sisler, and Smith? And unfortunately, they got the 46 truck kind of down there in the way, blinking off and on. Gotta be a little cautious around that lap car when they're blinking on and off the screen.
Yeah, these guys running the outside now and trying to stay together with that disruption. Matt Sisler, Charlie Widener out of the pits, back onto the racetrack.
Oh, I think
Hutchison and Cremay took 4 tires each. Charlie Widener took 4 tires. It looks like Sisler only took 2 in fuel. I've got to believe that Widener and Sisler at least can make it to the end. Heath Smith still in the pits. You got to believe that's a black flag on his end. Tough break for him, but Matt Sisler holds on to a 2.7 second lead. Wayne Hutchison and Paul Crumray closing in fast.
You are correct. That is a black flag for Heath Smith, and that's exactly what happened the last time those 3 were teamed up in a super speedway race. Smith got a black flag and unfortunately lost the pack here, but here's Widener in second. He's got Hutchison and Cremay coming right up on the back of him. They're going to go by the outside. Widener's got to try to tag along here, see if he can catch back up to his drafting partner, Sisler. So one more time, this is just like the last pit stop cycle. We saw Sisler out in front by himself. It's just a sitting duck, but he is about 3 seconds clear of this 3-truck pack right here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And I keep seeing Weaver looks like a right turn signal.
I tell you what, if I'm Matt Sisler right now, I'm thinking I just did the money stop 2 weeks in a row, came out in the lead 2 weeks in a row, and I feel like a sitting duck. This situation a little bit more obvious than last week with Wayne Hutchison, Paul Crumray, Charlie Widener, Scott Kukas. Actually, just those top 3. Scott Kukas is about 10 seconds off of those 3. But watching these guys back here with a little bit of help from lap traffic, they're just going to close in on that leader who has no help in front of him. Matt Sisler desperately wants to get this done here tonight. He's been close numerous times this year. He has a deep desire to win this race. I don't think he's going to let this go easy. I don't think he's going to sit here and block right away when Hutchison comes up to him, but I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with at the end of this thing.
85 laps down of our 104, 19 laps left to go right now. I'm Chris Murphy, Liam Ervig here with Sim Racing Media, bringing you the season 53 finale of the Western States Racing League. The last race for the Western States Racing League until the new year. Right now, Hutchison in that second spot. Wayne looking really good here tonight. He's got a chance to win this race. He's got Cremay, and they are closing on Sisler in a hurry. If we jump in the truck here with Hutchison, you can see Sisler right up there as they come off of turn number 4 to come across the stripe. 18 laps left to go. It is going to be a 4-car battle with Sisler, Hutchison, Cremay, and Widener, as everybody else is kind of cycled out of this. If we don't have another caution, it's going to come down to one of these 4.
One thing to consider, though, Sisler got himself that bit of a lead, but he had an 11-second pit stop, which is conclusive to 2 tires. Getting into turn 3 here, Sisler stays on the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh, he's
They're
drifting
not
up a
able to
bit.
get the run. Sisler drifts to the middle, moves back down to the bottom, and Charlie Widener going to be able to get a little bit of a run with these guys as well. Paul Crumray and Wayne Hutchison working incredibly well together here, as they have all race. Sisler still able to keep his nose down on the inside. Oh man, he's still there.
Crumay had the room, but he just wasn't confident in it. Spotter wasn't giving him the clearance. It would have been close. It would have been close, but he had the space coming off it too. But I understand why he did not drop down in front of Sisler. But Hutchison doing a nice thing, moving up to the top, picking his drafting partner back up. So we're 2 by 2 here with our top 4 with 15 laps left to go.
Now, one thing you got to think about, is there's a little bit of a checkup there. That's going to send Wayne Hutchison up into the wall. Crumray has to check up, and so does Earl Weaver in the 46. Weaver trying to race to get his lap back. Crumray, I believe, got into the back of that 20 just a little bit too hard and got him a little loose. No harm, no foul.
See if they get team back up here.
Sisler's going to be able to get back up to the race lead with Charlie Widener right behind him, a sight he saw last week around this same time. Just under 15 laps to go.
I think that lap truck of Earl Weaver right there is really saving Crumay here from holding on to that draft. Hutchison doing everything he can to reel Crumay in to get back up here with him. But here comes the 96. He's got a good pull from that 46. He's going to make himself back up onto the back of the 95, and here comes Hutchison as well. So we're going to be back to 4 trucks. So a little bit of a mistake there from the 96 and the 20 drafting together, but it looks like they're going to keep themselves in this battle for the win.
And now we've also got 2 opposing strategies to worry about here. Matt Sisler and Charlie Widener, they came in on lap 82. We know they can make it. Paul Crumray came in on lap 75. I'm very skeptical. Wayne Hutchison 2 laps later. I'm still pretty iffy on that. I think those guys are going to have to save a little bit of fuel while they're trying to sit behind these guys. See what they can get done.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to have to stop at least one more time. 82 to 107, 20. Yeah, it's going to be close.
82 to 104. That's
yeah.
doable. We've seen people do it already.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Sisler and Widener, it's going to come down to Sisler and Widener. I think Crumay, if he's going to have any chance to be able to make it to the end, he's got to just tuck behind these 2 and just draft and save some fuel.
I'm not confident that we've seen 27 to 29 throughout the course of this race. Paul Crumay looking to the outside of Charlie Widener. Sisler staying low to give the 95 that draft. A little bit of damage still on the right front of Charlie. He's going to fight hard to keep that spot down on the inside. Hutchison moves up to the outside to try to stay with Paul Crumray, as these 4 trucks are going to have 10 laps to go when they cross the stripe this next time around. Matt Sisler wants to get 1 win. I mean, he's been so close so many times. Last week was a very good run by him, a very good example of being so close, and he wants to get it done here. Charlie Widener wants to end this season with 2 wins in a row. That's going to give him momentum heading into next season. Wayne Hutchison has been strong all season. We haven't seen him in victory lane. And Paul Crumray, we haven't seen him in victory lane either. Actually, Wayne Hutchison has a win this season, so he's looking for his second. Paul Crumray comes into the pits.
Just cannot make it on the field. Unfortunately, he's coming in by himself. Wayne Hutchison did not come down there with him, so unfortunately, that is going to leave Crumray out of this lead draft. I think it's going to definitely come down to Sisler and Widener unless we get a caution here late in this race. They're going to be able to make it on fuel. Hutchison is going to have to come in at some point. He has got to be sniffing fumes at this point. I'm looking back through the rest of the pack. Scott Kukas back here in the 5th spot also pitted a lap on 81, so he might be able to make it to the end. Here comes Earl Weaver now. I'm actually kind of surprised Earl Weaver still connected into this race as much. It looked like he was having some pretty good connection issues there, and here they come up on Ricci one more time to put him another lap down. So I give a lot of credit to Julian Ricci. He's quite a few laps down, but he's out there going to finish this race. I give a lot of credit to guys that finish the race no matter how bad the evening's gone.
Absolutely. We love to see guys stick it out to the end. I tell you what, we're talking about this fuel strategy. Hutchison stayed out 2 laps more than Paul Ray did. So he's going to be able to stay out just a little bit longer.
Can he make
Right now
it
we've
27 laps, though?
That is the question. Looking at 15 laps out of your race leaders, Matt Sisler and Charlie Widener. We've got 7 laps to go. Do they have enough? I think 24 is pushing it. 27 or 22 is... I think 22 is okay. 27, I think, is iffy.
Yeah, we're down to 6 trucks on the lead lap as far as I can see right now. Your first truck a lap down is Keith Kelman in the 07 back there in 7th. As we are 7 laps left to go now. Excuse me, 6 laps left to go as we come across the stripe. It's Sisler, Widener, Hutchison, Scott Kukas up into 4th. Chris Walker with a good run. Top 5 run for Chris Walker if he can stay there. And Daryl Scott up 14 spots up to 6th. And we take a look back here at the Jensens. Unfortunately, we're going to call this our black flag group here. We have Heath Smith, Bob Beltrami, Jacob Jensen, and Shane Jensen. So this is our pit lane speeders all right here together trying to make the best race they can out of this right now. But they are back here in 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, 11th right there because Kelman's in the mix as well.
Yeah, these guys still racing for position. They may be a lap down, but still racing for position.
Back up to the front. Here's
who's going to be able to
lap on the 88 of John Kenyon. Or top
Matt
3
Sisler
trucks.
He's got 5 laps to go, 4 laps to go. This is about where he lost the lead last week to Charlie Widener, looking to try to take 2 in a row. I know he wants to start next season with a win, but what better way to bring momentum into next season than to go 2 in a row? Wayne Hutchison, again, we mentioned, looking for his 2nd win on the season. Paul Ray has lost a ton of time after that pit stop. I don't think he's going to be a factor as here comes Wayne Hutchison into the pits with 5 laps to go.
Went as long as he possibly could. Wayne Hutchison, unfortunately, going to have to come down to the pits. That's going to take him out of the top 5. Down, going to lose a lap here at this point. Actually, Crewmate all the way down to their 10th, having to come in there late. So we're going to see how this shakes out. Widener and Sisler are top 2. It is down to them. John Kenyon, the lap truck, 88 truck there, and the Granger, number 88. A lap down, kind of in the mix here at the end, but this is going to come down to Sisler and Widener. Did they have enough fuel to get to the end? 3 laps left to go. I think they can make it on fuel. I think you hit that just perfectly on the head there, Liam. Perfect fuel strategy from these two. But you know they've been partnered up all night long. But when it comes down to that last lap, coming off of turn number 4. It's any man's game. All bets are off right there. And John Kenyon's right here in the mix with him. So, you know, John could have a deciding factor of who wins this race. If he stays right here with him, who does he want to push to the finish? Is he going to go with Widener? Or is Kenyon just going to kind of back off and not be a player in this? We'll see what happens. They come across the stripe down the back straightaway now. 2 laps left to go. A lap and a half left to go in this race.
Through 3 and 4, Matt Sisler's got a tow from Chris Walker. Walker going to stay on the bottom side. Sisler wants the bottom. This is going to be risky. Sisler moves up. He's going to have to block a little bit. He's lifted up off of the bottom with Chris Walker to his inside. Here comes Charlie Widener all over the rear bumper. He's getting him loose coming up off of turn number 2. He got him loose. Sisler gets up and makes the block. Down the back straightaway. Widener moves up to the outside. John Kenyon going to try to move with him. Charlie Widener looking for 2 in a row. Matt Sisler, he's got a chance on the bottom. What does John Kenyon do? Sisler slides up. John Kenyon moves up and pushes Charlie Widener to the win. Matt Sisler 2nd once again. Scott Kukas racing for 3rd place.
And John Kenyon and Charlie Widener's best friend there tonight. John Kenyon decided he was going to go with Widener there on the outside to give him a push to the lead. Unfortunate for Sisler. Sisler led the most laps of this race. But unfortunately, going to lose the lead coming off of turn number 4. Charlie Widener, 2 wins in a row. It was only 2 trucks at the end, but it was a great finish there, Liam.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. And I know that Matt is just going to be beating himself up going into turn 3 right there. What could I have done different? He, he wanted the bottom. He felt it was the safe option, but Charlie Widener had the help up on the top from the lap truck of John Kenyon, who, just ended up being enough.
Yeah, zoom down the back straightaway. You can see Kenyon jumps up on the outside right there with Widener as they head through 3 and 4. Sisler's just hoping Walker can get close enough to give him a push, but just not able to do it. And it's going to be the 95 across the line by about a truck length. Sisler just immediately slammed on the brakes right there. He wanted that win something bad.
But Charlie Widener gets 2 in a row, and what a better way to end the season.
And look who made his way up onto the podium tonight. The 242 of Scott Kukas is going to come home in third. Nice pit strategy there from Scott. After being involved in some earlier incidents, going to come home in that third spot. So we'll take a look here, see if we got anybody in the waiting room. It looks like we have Sisler and Kukas. Let's see if Widener comes in there with us.
We'll get Charlie Widener up in here. Our race winner, 2 in a row for Charlie Widener. Number 95 gets it done here at Echo Park Speedway. Walk us through, or what was it like in those last couple of laps? It seemed like a chess match, and then that lap truck came into play and just kind of gave you that opening.
Yeah, I mean, I was hating that it was it was Sisler in front of me again, but I was just trying to ride until I could make a move. But then the lap truck, Walker come into the mix, and Sisler was getting a huge draft off of him. Luckily, we caught him quick enough to where Sisler had to make a move, which slowed his momentum, and I was able to get something done there. But man, it could have went way different depending on how fast we caught the lap car.
Well, Charlie, you get the Mountaineers up into victory lane once again. What does it mean to you and that team to get 2 wins here at the end of the season, and what does that do for your momentum moving on into next year?
It means a lot. I mean, these guys are good. Like, this is a good group of guys. Bob's got a heck of a league going on here. Very competitive. So the fact that I was able to somehow pull that off and get 2 in a row there after not being able to be in most of the races this season, it kind of makes me wonder what if I could have been here all year. But it's momentum. I like momentum tracks, and I like momentum in the for winning.
Well, Charlie, before we let you go, who helps you get it done here? Who has been with you all season long? Give us a long list, man. This is the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 teammates. They're not always able to race the same days. This time it was Heath Smith. He did really good until I think he got caught speeding there, or he would have been up there with me. Mike Milfelt, who's not able to race today, he's really good. Them 2 guys are great teammates, and we help each other. We have different strengths and weaknesses, so we help each other out a lot. And I mean, like I said, this league's so good that just them being competitive makes you better. So, it's real fun.
Well, we appreciate you joining with us, Charlie. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully this off season is as pleasant as that last lap was for you.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope Sister's okay.
All right, now we've got Matt Sisler, second place. Chris, I believe you're with him.
Matt, welcome into the booth. Chris Murphy and Liam Irvig here with you, buddy. You led the most laps of this race. You look like you had it under control. Just a great pit strategy there from you and Charlie. Heath was there with you as well. So tell us what you saw from your point of view.
It was a good one, and second straight week I've led the most laps on a 1.5 mile oval, and I've lost to Charlie Widener in the 95. We made the right pit call in our 3 birdies Silverado. Really, I thought everybody was going to take 2 tires there, like, because I didn't take any of the previous stops. So our last stop, I was going to go to take 2 rights and get out there. I actually didn't expect to have that big of a gap. And I thought it would be me defending from a couple more guys than it was, because I thought everybody could make it. But the field steadily, the group that could make it steadily whittled down to me versus Charlie. And I don't know I don't know why I took the bottom in 3 and 4. I should have probably just I should have stayed high, forced him low, and then pinched him. But hats off to him. Hats off to Jacob for the championship. And given how the day started, where dodging a wreck and we end up with damage, it could have ended a lot worse for our three birdies team. So a P2 is nothing to be sad about. Although to be with a half a truck length away from the win, slightly annoying. But good job for Charlie. He played it right, and we'll have to go get him next time we race.
Yeah,
Matt, I gotta jump in and ask, and forgive me for the jokiness of it, but does any part of this feel like a rerun from last week?
Were you listening to the audio, Liam? Because I literally looked in my mirrors, seeing Charlie behind me with like one or two trucks back there, and I went, "This feels eerily familiar," and it turned out to be deja vu because I lose it in the final couple laps to the 95 again.
Yeah, we're watching the replay of it right now, and he had the help of John Kenyon up on the outside, pushing him across. But we also got a little graph of your venture through the race back about lap 28 or 29. You were involved in that one little caution and went all the way back to about 19th spot, and had to come back up through there. But you guys played it perfectly, the three of you, Heath, Charlie, and yourself. Maybe next time you don't partner up with Charlie on these super speedways.
I mean, I thought I could. He's a very good plate racer. I thought honestly I could handle it. Like I honestly expected, and again, like I pitted from behind him. I think I pitted from behind him and Heath. So like I took two tires. I fully expected to come out behind him because I thought he and Heath would take two as well, and like he just they didn't. They took four. So like the plan would have been for me to be more just running behind him and then make a move to try to get by one or both of them on the final lap, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So I got out to the lead, and then Charlie just backed up to the one truck that was there that was on him, and he made the difference. So is what it is.
Well, fantastic run. You've looked strong all season long. And before we get you out here for the last time in 2025 here with the Western States Racing League, is there anybody you want to give a thanks to?
I mean, Bob for putting this league on. You guys at SRM for the awesome broadcasts. Hopefully next time I'm on one, I can win the race instead of losing to Charlie Widener again. Give Scott Kukas his flowers. Like I know he's had a kind of a rough season, and he came from, he sometimes struggles, and he ended up playing the pit strategy right, and he ended up P3. That's fantastic for him. So give him his flowers. Of course, my sponsor, Three Birdies Golf Company. They've been with me for over a year now as my sponsor, and they're an awesome group of guys. They just gave me some new stuff. They've got new merch up on their website at threebirdiesgolf.com. Free shipping on all orders over $100. Nitro Trucking LLC, Peace, Love, and Paws Rescue out of Southeast Michigan. Coke Zero Sugar, my alma mater at Adrian College, and last but not least, my spotter Al, who was calling me home on that, and almost got him his first win because he's as a spotter, because he's relatively new on iRacing and he's not done that before. So almost got him it, and we'll have to try again next time. Hopefully without Charlie Widener right on my bumper.
Well, good job, Matt. We'll see you again next time. Have a good rest of your, have a good holidays.
Yep, you too.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and bring in Scott Kukas here. Scott, it's Liam and Chris up in the booth, and man, I tell you what, we've been waiting to talk to you.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. You had yourself a phenomenal race here and a perfect pit strategy to put you into the podium. Was that kind of your plan once you got up onto that last run, was to stay out as long as you could and pit as close to the leaders as you could?
Every pit stop I went in, maybe not for tires, but for fuel. So I had one lap left when I crossed the line.
Yeah, your best finish coming into the night, Scott, looked like a ninth back at Phoenix. So your first podium of the season, that's got to feel pretty good. You played the strategy just perfectly, like Liam said.
My first podium in the WSRL period. Yeah, I felt good. I just tried to stay out of trouble and keep moving forward.
Well, you did a phenomenal job, and it was noticed by your competitors. Matt Sisler wanted to give you flowers, and he mentioned you in his conversation there too. So we're happy to see you up here, man. We know you've got, we know you've got speed and stuff. So
Yeah, I have fun. I really don't got a whole lot to say, truthfully.
Well, Scott, congratulations on a really good run here tonight, man. Hey, you got anybody you want to give a thanks to, or are you doing this all by yourself?
Oh, I'm with Bob and the dog bear. Well, I have been for quite some time.
Well, excellent. Well, good job tonight, man, and hopefully we'll see you again next season.
I hope
I'm
so
not
too.
quite sure
Y'all
how to
take care.
help you
Be
with
safe.
that.
all right, now last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and bring in our champion for the season. We talked to him for a moment before the race started, but Jacob Jensen, you are the champion of 2025, season number 53. And I got to say, you kind of had a Connor Silish-esque season. You come home with 6 wins. Chad Stearns was pretty close with 4, but other than that, it's a bunch of 1s and 2s in the W column.
Yeah, it was a very good season overall. There's a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda. I think I could have definitely won a whole bunch more races this season, but hindsight's 2020, and yeah, we'll see how next season goes and if we can keep winning or even if we come back.
Well, we hope to see you back here, and that was going to be my next question. Was going to be, can we anticipate seeing you back here at this truck series?
I would like to. It just kind of depends on what my schedule starts becoming and just kind of how life plays out. So we'll see.
Well, I could give you congratulations there too, Jacob. I know we've talked a lot throughout the season, but just a great run all year long. You had some tough battles here and there. Yeah, I know you had one race about halfway through the season. You were actually thinking about. I saw you get a little bit upset there, maybe not even coming back for another week. But I'm glad to see you got back out here, got your first championship, and just congratulations all the way around.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Yeah, it was a very interesting season, and I want to thank Bob for putting together such a great league, and it's been a lot of fun. And I would very much recommend if anyone is watching it and has a sim, they should definitely join and see what happens.
Buddy, I'm tempted to ask John if he can find somebody to fill in for me. This looks like so much fun. But my last question before the formalities is well, I know what I would drink if I ever want to ship. I never have, but you're in a little bit different situation than I am. What's gonna be your drink of choice?
Well, considering I'm only 18, probably a nice cool glass of milk.
That's kind of what I was hoping, man. Indie vibes. I knew you were younger. I didn't know if you were gonna go with Mountain Dew or Coca-Cola or milk's
Yeah,
a good way to
probably.
go though. That's
Yeah, definitely.
Indie winners drink milk.
Yeah, hopefully we can win at Indianapolis Raceway Park next season, and we can say that we're drinking milk again for real.
Awesome stuff, man. Before we let you go, who helps you get it done? What went into this season? It's the end of the year, so we'll let you get a long list in there, but who helps you get it done?
Well, of course, it's always the good Lord. He's with me anytime I'm in the car. Always my family and my friends. I still miss you, Grandpa Rubash. And then, yeah, just a whole bunch of friends, a whole bunch of family. Uncle Leonard, my mom, my dad, my brother, and then a whole bunch of other friends. And then my team at Cabu Performance, at WLT Motorsports, and Team Watson Racing Setups are always super helpful. And then my sponsors, Dubby, 4 Simulations, and Box Banner.
Well, awesome stuff, Jacob. We just want to say it out loud once again. You are the champion of season 53 of the WSRL. Congratulations. What an accomplishment. I mean, it's been fun to watch you race all season and hoping to be able to see you next season.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Hopefully, I'll be able to see you guys next season too.
Awesome stuff, man. Have a good night. Have a good holidays, and we'll see what happens when the new year comes.
Yep, have a nice off season, guys.
All right, and with that, we are going to see if we can bring up the rest of the results here. Let's see if I can. There we go. So Charlie Widener coming home with the win. Matt Sisler, once again, the bridesmaid, gonna be in second. Scott Kukas with his first podium of his career in the Western States Racing League. If Scott shared with us there, Wayne Hutchison going to come home in fourth. Bob Beltrami, nice recovery. So we got our black flag group here. Beltrami, Smith, and Cremea actually fell back into that group as well. Kelman going to come home in eighth. Shane and Jacob Jensen ninth and 10th. So the old man beat the kid there. Going to come home in ninth. In the 11th spot's going to be Chris Walker, Daryl Scott, Dustin Burns, Earl Weaver, John Kenyon, Julian Ricci, Chad Stearns, Todd Miles back here in the 18th position. And that is going to round out our field here. I think that we had a few more trucks in there. Let's see. I can't get the.
Yeah, we had a couple of DNFs.
There we go.
Weaver,
I couldn't get it to scroll up for me.
Charles Woods, Alan Bergen DNF'd. Brian Sullivan and Tyron Harris showed up but did not grid. You do matter. Sorry to James Wheeler last week. Did not mean to imply that you don't matter. Try to be funny, but you matter. We appreciate you showing up. And
oh, we're gonna come into the studio here. Liam's. Oh, I forgot my hat. Oh well, go with the bald head. Liam's smart enough to have his hat on. So, Liam, it has been a fun season here at the Western States Racing League. I think we covered most of the races together. But
I want to say 17 out of 20. I think I missed the first one, and you missed Martinsville and last week. So
yeah, sounds about right.
We did pretty good on staying consistent.
Yeah, we did. But Liam usually does our sign off, but I'm going to do it for us tonight. And it's just been a lot of fun this season. Looking forward to working with Liam somewhere down the road. But before we get off tonight, I just want to take a moment on a personal note. And earlier this week, I decided I'm going to step away from sim racing media. So tonight was officially my last SRM broadcast. I want to thank everybody. They gave me a chance here about 6 months ago to join the team. And I just want to thank everybody at SRM and the drivers here, the fans at home. You guys have been a lot of fun out there being here with us live every night. But, I've always been grateful for the opportunities, the memories, and the friendships we've created here. And even though I will not be on SRM going forward, I'm still going to be around the community. So don't hesitate. Reach out to say hello. And you may even see me on the racetrack somewhere at some point. I've been doing a little bit of racing here and there. So, but
I might be able to leverage them back for a situation or two. just saying.
But
never say never. But
never say never. But with that, I am going to leave us all with the immortal words of the great Tony Trapasso. And thank you all once again for making us part of your evening. And as you walk down the highway of life, don't play in traffic. And this has been Chris Murphy and Liam Ervig saying goodnight, and we'll see you again next time.